This is the February 9th HD Studio training at CAMERIE Community Access Media given by Thomas Balos, the Multimedia Services Manager at CAMERIE, Erie, Pennsylvania.
And so I started last February, so I've been here just about a year now. And the changes that I've seen in the last 12 months have been astonishing and just very exciting and uplifting, and people coming back that they say that I haven't been here for 5 or 6 years, and so I'm interested to see what you guys are talking about, and so just that breathing new life into the organization. I think it's really exciting. Back last summer in June, I think it was, we received a grant from the Community Foundation and the gaming revenue. It's $30,000 to upgrade the studio equipment. And so we've got brand new HD cameras. They are capable of 4K video, which is pretty much the new standard coming out. Right now we don't have an audience for 4K, so these are actually dumbed down to less of their potential, and we're just doing high definition video. 3 brand new cameras. The entire control room was gutted and all brand new equipment in there. The truck was gutted as well and all brand new equipment in there. And so spent the $30,000 as reasonably as we could, as smart as we could, in order to maximize the potential and the outreach. Now this year, we just received the check from the same 2 organizations, the Community Foundation and the gaming revenue, to take it in the next step of the production process. And so we are in the process of ordering brand new editing computers. The stuff that we had was a little older and wasn't able to handle the high definition video that we're now producing. And so we're evolving there. And so you'll see the edit bays are empty right now. Computers are going to be ordered here shortly if they haven't been before our executive director went on vacation. So they will be here in the building. We're hoping within the next 2 weeks they should be here and installed. And so that's another $15,000 worth of upgrades and improvements there. And so the next step in the process is then being able to broadcast that high definition signal once we have it produced. Right now, Spectrum Cable limits us to a standard definition signal. There's nothing that we can do about that. We're just going to be in the old standard definition signal on Spectrum Cable. Here with our plan is by the end of the year to upgrade that server with perhaps another grant and be able to broadcast on our website in high definition. We have the possibility of creating a Roku channel and an Apple TV channel, as long as this new server can deliver that high definition video. And so a lot of big changes coming in. Spectrum Cable, right now, as I mentioned, we are limited to Spectrum customers within the city limits. If you live in Mill Creek or outside of the city limits, you can't receive us through Spectrum. You can watch us on the website, but you can't watch us on Spectrum. We have in the last year worked with Spectrum. We've worked with the city, we've worked with the county executive, and we have all of the paperwork approved. We are just waiting for Spectrum to flip the switch to take us countywide. And so we will be on channel 1021 on the Spectrum Cable here in the very near future. Again, I'm guessing within the next couple of months is near future on that. That takes our audience from about 20,000 households to 120,000. So increasing that 6-fold just overnight with one flip of the switch. And so very excited to see that happening. In addition to that, we just received Velocity high-speed internet in the building. And so Velocity has their own delivery platform, video platform, much like a cable system where you can have different channels coming in through them. The big ones, ESPN, HBO, those things, Home and Network or Home and Garden TV, and all of those are available through them. Here, when we get that new server in place, we will be on their platform as well. And so right now, they're right around 2,000 households with plans to be in 5,000 to 10,000 households in their near future. So, really, really growing. It's a really exciting time. With that, it's just two of us, two full-time employees, Jake, the executive director, and myself. We just hired Rob Gibson. This is his first week, and so he's in our training class here just to see what the class is about, with the hopes that he's able to help with training here as well. And so Rob has 25 years of production experience working Channel 12 and working at the news stations in Pittsburgh and back up here as well, so and his own freelance productions, wedding videos and commercial videos. And Rob also teaches video production at Mercyhurst University, so I think it's going to be an easy transition for him to come in and help us out in radio broadcasting. Did that, worked at Erie Insurance, started in the mailroom, worked my way up into the education department, where I was in charge of the video conferencing network, which is where they would use the telephone lines back then to communicate and send video back and forth between the home office and the branch offices, so that an instructor here could teach people throughout the country without leaving Erie and vice versa. That then evolved into the internet side of delivering that content, and so I worked in the education department there, hoping to get into their communication department, and had some interviews, and nothing really panned out, and got some great advice that, hey, maybe you should get a job at one of the TV stations part-time, because you have education but you don't have experience, and who's going to hire you to get the experience if you don't have the experience? And so it's a catch-22. And so I spent 6 years at Channel 12 in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's where I first met Rob, when he trained me on day one.
I wasn't qualified to train him because I only been there for 2 months. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know, but it seemed to work out. And so, worked there part-time, evenings, weekends, did everything from chasing ambulances and fire trucks, to editing news stories, to running master control, to directing newscasts. Pretty much, being a part-timer on the weekends, you did it all. That's so it was a great experience, great learning, and so doing that. Left there when my daughter was about 3 years old, because I just needed to spend time with her, and so I continued at Erie Insurance. Back up until 2009, when they were revamping the department and kind of looking to outsource the particular job that I did, and so I decided then to leave Erie Insurance, focused on my freelance production, video production side of it. Did that for a good number of years. Ended up with a part-time job as a school photographer at Lifetouch, and so I've always had an interest in photography. So I was able to work there part-time in their busy seasons for a couple of seasons. Learned a little bit about still photography just to complement and build my resume. From there, I went to Channel 24, doing their overnight editing and productions and live shots and ambulance chasing again. And then supplemented that with a job at Boyer RV Center, where I was in charge of their website, social media videos, and videos of their new mobile homes coming in. And so left there to come here a year ago. And so, as I said, this has probably been the most exciting, most rewarding job out of the last 25 years, because I get to take my passion and my experience for video and share it with you guys that are coming in. You've got an idea and you've got a spark and you've got some passion there. Well, let's make it happen. Let's work together. And so I think I'm in the right place now, and I'm very, very happy to be here. And like I said, very excited over the last year to see all of the changes that are taking place. Just briefly, I want to start over.
Long story short, I did it for 12 years and decided I didn't want to do it anymore. And I always said once I was unhappy doing it, I would just voluntarily quit. I walked up to the news director at this big, huge TV station, and I gave my 2 weeks. I said, I'm done. I said, I can't do it. I kind of even didn't have a job lined up, but I couldn't
It wasn't
do
fun
that anymore. It wasn't fun anymore. I didn't even enjoy it. I used to love it. And I ended up switching fields, worked at GCAC, was an academic counselor for 9 years. I kind of always kept my hands in it, but I kind of walked away from it. Never, ever, ever, ever wanted to teach it. And maybe this is going to be like my attitude. Those who can't teach. Why would I actually go teach something when I actually am so good at it I could just go make money? So for the longest time, I had no interest whatsoever in really sharing anything. Why would I want to share anything I know? It's mine. And why would I share it unless I'm going to get money for it? I mean, and I guess maybe if you're a business owner, that's why would I want to teach? Because I need money. I got to make the car payment. So a year and a half ago, I took a job. I was asked to teach video production at Mercyhurst. And for some reason, I was like, oh, that might be cool. And so I did. And I didn't know where to start because I'm a doer. And I actually don't have a patience. I think I had to be 47 before I could teach because I have no patience. I can't deal with anybody. If somebody doesn't get it, I'm like, what's wrong with you? I've always been really kind of like, leave me alone and let me do my thing. But this has been awesome. And I think for the first time, and I never got it, I probably learned more from the students than they learned from me. I had to actually go back and reteach myself everything that I just naturally did without thought. All the terms, which I blew off, because when you do something for 20 years, you don't think about what the terms are, you just think about what you're gonna do. I actually had to teach students how to open up a tripod. I forgot about that. I don't even, there are things that I'm like, well, what do you mean? And I was frustrated. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to have tripod lessons. And it took, so actually it's been kind of eye-opening for me to actually, what's cool here, because when I came in here, they're like, well, what you're gonna do a little bit is teach people. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Had it been 2 years ago, I would have never even applied. I'm like, I don't teach people anything. But the experience at Mercyhurst has been kind of awesome because these students have all this passion about what they want to do, and they're teaching me. And I have to slow down because I don't slow down. Yeah. And they're too fast. It's anyways. So I'm kind of, without a bunch of hoopla about my background, the one cool thing I think is the idea that you share what you have. You slow down a little bit, and you share.
In the realm of television production, you'll find that there are more elements than we're going to cover here today. But it's going to give you a solid foundation. And again, we are here to help. We want you to succeed. And so there are no stupid questions. There's nothing that any one of us haven't struggled with ourselves. And so whatever you need. We're going to go through here camera composition, what makes an image look and feel right, operation of the camera itself. Then we're going to talk about the lights, the different fixtures that we have, and then the roles that each of those fixtures can play.